As for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, it should be an emotional one this afternoon. Here's what they have to do.
Well, again, it's going to be the battle of the benches. I think that's really going to be key for today's game. We need to have a lot of production from the Minnesota bench, and also they're going to just be playing off the excitement from that Purdue game. And if Minnesota can carry that over in today's game, they're going to be in good shape.
It's kind of interesting talking with the coaches. Minnesota obviously wants to play an emotional game. They're the underdog. But at the same time, it was kind of interesting talking to Jane Albright Dieterle with the Badgers. She hopes that emotion has nothing to do with this game today.
Yeah, I think she's thinking if you play all on emotions, Minnesota's going to win this game. They need to win a game at home in the Big Ten, and they're eventually going to do it. So she just wants to stay away from that and just execute her game plan.
Stomski tries to go down low to Moore. She has nowhere to go. Kelly Polish, who had a big game against Illinois, gives off to LaTanya Sims. No good. Rebound, Minnesota's Monique Bowden.
Another key to the game for Minnesota and Wisconsin's going to be rebounding. That's really what kept Minnesota in the game against Purdue, is they did a tremendous job on the boards. And although Wisconsin's a very tall team, they're not necessarily the best rebounding team.
Turnover to Wisconsin. The Gophers have had their troubles with turnovers this year, averaging over 20 per game. And Wisconsin right away not liking what they see offensively or defensively. They'll take a quick 20-second timeout with 19:11 to go in the first half.
Not uncommon for a game like this to start, as you've seen in the tip. Everyone was a little bit jittery, a lot of emotion still going on, and there's going to be some turnovers today. You're going to have to expect some of that, especially early on.
You mentioned Minnesota hoping for a rebounding advantage against Wisconsin. The Badgers are the tallest team in the Big Ten. 9 of their 11 players go 6 feet or better. So it will be a challenge for Minnesota. Vander Hayden slides and gets it to Taylor. Bowden no good with the turnaround. And out of bounds to Minnesota. Still a little jittery out there.
Still a little bit jittery. Bowden has a nice look at the basket, but needs to turn around and square up if she's going to make that shot. And it's a good thing Vander Hayden has knee pads on, because she went squealing across the court on her knees.
Hansen gives it away to Stomski. Another Gopher turnover. Sims takes it to the hoop, puts it in with the right hand. Badgers lead 2-0.
You're going to like what you see probably for the whole day from Sims. She's an athletic player who can take the ball to the basket, has a nice little jumper. It's going to be very hard to stop.
Sims is a sophomore, 29 straight double-double games after scoring 20 against Illinois. Trying to get it inside to Robinson, listed as a 5'10" center for the Golden Gophers. And here comes the Badgers.
Yes, once again, Robinson has the height disadvantage, and she's always going to be shorter, but she is a leaper. She's going to have a tough time in there with Sims today.
Stomski and Hansen battling for the loose ball. It goes to Minnesota. There's a look at Sonia Robinson. Team leader in points and rebounds for Cheryl Littlejohn this year.
Both teams starting off in a man-to-man defense, and it's a fairly good matchup, although Minnesota is really outsized in almost every position.
Jump ball, the arrow pointing towards Minnesota. Like Vander Hayden dribbled it off her foot.
Yep, just a little mistake underneath. Vander Hayden probably doing a little too much ball handling as she's heading towards the basket. And Minnesota just needs to stop, set it up, and start moving the ball around the perimeter.
2 seniors coming out of the lineup. Teresa LeCure and Jackie Tate, replacing Mindy Hansen and Swan Taylor. Here's Tate. She gets the Gophers on the board, tied at 2.
Well, as we've seen all year long by Minnesota, they've been changing up their starting lineup, and Tate has recently been put into the lineup and has been performing fairly well. And I think if she can score here today, Coach Littlejohn's going to be very pleased with that.
Badgers' first turnover. Vander Hayden tried to put up a 3. Moore got a piece of it. Now here's Moore one-on-one with LeCure. Fouled and throws it out of bounds. She will shoot 2.
I think LeCure thought she was pretty straight up on that, but anytime you get underneath like that with contact, if you're not set with your arms straight in the air, you're going to get the foul.
At the line for Wisconsin 30, Tamara.
You can see more. Minneapolis North native just kind of throws the shot up, probably knowing she's not going to get it, but wants to collect the foul.
Didn't get the first foul shot. Aaron Olsen comes into the game for Minnesota. Cassie Vander Hayden will sit down. Tamara Moore last year with Minneapolis North. They won the state high school championship with a 29-0 record.
That was a really fun team to watch.
Nice takeaway. Dee Pate taking it away from Olsen, and as Pate tried to keep it in bounds, she was unable to do so, but a nice defensive effort here.
Well, that's the one player on Wisconsin who is not going to be taller than anyone else out on the court, but she will be the quickest player out there.
5'5", Dee Pate. Tallest player is Amy Wiersma for Wisconsin. Not in the lineup now. She's at 6'5", so Wiersma a foot taller than Dee Pate. I doubt they stand next to each other in the team picture. Olsen's shot is short. Moore gains position in the rebound.
It's those little pesky players like Pate that used to drive me crazy, because you never know where they are, and they're always going for the ball and just frustrate you.
Paulus fouled by Sonia Robinson. 3-2 Wisconsin, 16:52 to go in the first half.
Now, Coach Albright Dieterle talked about at the beginning of the game that she's always nervous to come into Minnesota. And she said regardless of what the record is, there's a long time history between Wisconsin and Minnesota, and she's always very nervous to come in here.
First shot no good. And especially in a game like today, Kim Bell is going to replace Sonia Robinson. The Gophers will be helped here by Bell, who goes 6'7", but senior day, Lea, you've played in a game like that when it's your final game at the Sports Pavilion, and if you're a senior, you want to make it count.
Absolutely. There's just a lot of people out there today, if it's the girls from Minnesota who came in on Wisconsin's team, or if it's the seniors, or if it's trying to get your first Big Ten win. There's just a lot of reasons why you want to win. And it's going to be an emotional game, and sometimes, Ryan, you'll find that that hurts you because there's just too much effort and people trying too hard.
Bowden has her shot blocked by Paulus, but the Gophers come up with the loose ball and now have it taken away by Jessie Stomski. Great look to Pate. Can't make the layup, but it stays with Wisconsin off the hands of Jackie Tate.
I'll tell you what, it's almost like both teams are moving in slow motion here today. No one's really getting a good pass, as you see there. The look inside to Bell, can't quite get it. On the other end of the court, you just can't quite knock it down.
Sims with a turnaround jumper. That falls, and she's going to go to the line for a three-point play.
Sims really the backbone of this Wisconsin team. She's only a sophomore, but she's a tri-captain, and she's an excellent athlete, a player that any coach in the country would love to have on their team.
Aaron Olsen sits down. Cassie Vander Hayden comes back in. We've been talking a lot, Lea, about Jessie Stomski and her great freshman year. Last year, LaTanya Sims was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, so the Badgers with a good chance of having two in a row.
That would be very nice if they could get that. The best part about that is you wonder what they're going to be like in their senior years.
And a foul is going to be called on Kelly Paulus as she was trying to jostle on the blocks with Jackie Tate. That's her first foul.
Paulus is another nice player for Wisconsin. You don't hear as much about her with all the star freshman players, but she is a solid player with a nice jump shot.
Vander Hayden's three-point shot is no good. Bell can't come up with the rebound. 7-2 Wisconsin, 16:02 left in the first half.
And neither of the teams right now are real fast-breaking teams. The game's going to be a little bit slower today, and they're just going to try and set it up and see who can win the battle of the half-court game.
Right now, Wisconsin leading 7-2. We'll be right back. First half, Badgers 7, Gophers 2. Just under 16 minutes to go. Next Gopher men's game against Purdue Tuesday. They'll be at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette. 7 p.m. Your Gopher Hoops connection, celebrating 10 years of sports in the upper Midwest. Ryan Lefevre, Lea B, Olsen at the Sports Pavilion. Gophers make a substitution. Kim Bell sits down. Sonia Robinson comes back in, and now Monique Bowden's going to sit down. Kim Bell was headed towards the bench until Cheryl Littlejohn said no. She wanted Bowden to sit down, so Bell and Robinson in at the same time.
Minnesota sets up in a zone, hoping to make Wisconsin earn their outside shot, and that's the first thing that they do.
LaTanya Sims with 7 points. She has 7 of Wisconsin's 9 points. Tate has her shot blocked by Sims. And here come the Badgers. What a great game so far for LaTanya Sims on both ends of the court. And now throws it off of Stomski's knee. Turnover to Minnesota.
Minnesota having a hard time getting it down low because of the height disadvantage. So now they just need to work the ball around and see if they can start creating an outside shot.
LeCure walked. Covered well, nobody was open. And another Minnesota turnover. (9-2) Wisconsin. Paulus for 3. That's good. And now the Badgers are out to a 10-point lead.
Tell you what, that'll break a zone real quick. We get Paulus the shot, and 2 seconds later she hits it from way out, and that's exactly why Minnesota went into the zone, was to see if they could hit something from outside.
Vander, Hayden to Bell, Bell to Tate. That shot is blocked. Tamara Moore had the block, but she will not be called for the foul. The foul is on LaTanya Sims.
Going to see a lot of that going on today with a big team like Wisconsin. A lot of block shots.
You see on the replay there that it was a clean block by Moore, but after the ball was blocked, Sims and Tate both going for the loose ball, and that's when Sims was called. Mindy Hansen back into the game for the Golden Gophers. And she is fouled immediately. Jessie Stomski is whistled. That's her first foul. 3rd team foul.
Although Wisconsin is up by 10 points, there still doesn't feel like there's a groove in this game yet. Either team is struggling a little bit to get the points up on the board.
Hansen's shot is long. Here come the Badgers in transition. Stomski gets it down low and is fouled. As far as what kind of team Wisconsin is, here's a look at Badgers in transition and the foul on Sonia Robinson. Jane Albright Dieterle, you asked her what kind of team they were, a running team, were they a half-court team, and she said she really didn't know quite yet.
Just from looking at them personally, I would say they're more of a half-court team. I know she talked about Moore. When she runs the team at the point guard, Moore likes to run the ball and push it up court. But looking at them, they're a big team. They're not as fast as a lot of other teams in the Big Ten, and I think they do better setting it up and going from there.
Stomski sits down, and our first look at Amy Wiersma in the Wisconsin lineup. 6'5" senior from Randolph, Wisconsin. 12-2 Badgers. Under 14 minutes to go. Mindy Hansen shot short, and Wiersma, using that size, comes up with an easy rebound.
That's a shot that Hansen really needs to make. They had a nice feed down low. They popped it back out, and that's where you have to prove you have an outside shot.
Now Sims from the baseline. Wiersma the rebound. And a fresh 30 seconds for the Badgers. And now Paulus has it blocked. Another loose ball. And it stays with the Badgers. Cassie Vander Hayden of Minnesota with a big reaction to that call. She thought it was the Gophers basketball.
I'll tell you what, it's not pretty down there. Everyone's working and fighting and doing their best to get the ball.
Wiersma down low, working against Bowden, no good. Gets her own rebound, and Tate steals it.
It's a great steal by Tate. That's where Wiersma is the strongest, right underneath, right under the basket. The senior usually will hit that shot.
Bowden's three-point shot no good. Gophers still stuck on 2. And you're right, Leah. The Gophers really struggling to find any flow to their offense right now. Wiersma with another rebound. She's had an impact. She's been in the game about 40 seconds and has 3 rebounds.
We've talked a lot about the first-year players on Wisconsin, but Wiersma is really the stable player on this Wisconsin team. And as a senior, they really look for her to lead the team.
20-second timeout again for Wisconsin, and that shows you how serious the Badgers are about this game. They're leading by 10, but Jane Albright Dieterle doesn't like the flow of her team. Gophers struggling as well, but Dieterle the one to call the timeout. Their second 20-second timeout in the first 7 minutes of the game. Gopher men's hockey against UMD. That's always a great rivalry. That'll be at the Deck in Duluth. Game 1 Friday at 7 p.m. Frank Mazzacco, Tom Reed, Paul Guggenheimer with the call. Badgers leading the Gophers 12-2, 12:20 left in the first half. And Vander Hayden, Cassie Vander Hayden, planted her right leg and was trying to guard Tamara Moore and is holding her right knee and is in some obvious pain, and that's...
Oh, this is something I just can't stand to watch. The knee slipping out there, and you have no idea how bad it is, and you know how the ACL injuries are in women's basketball, and she's definitely in some pain right now. It's just real hard to watch.
Gopher fans, remember February 28th is the second annual Ski with the Gophers.
I don't know if the floor is slippery or she just slips there, but whatever happened, it doesn't look good.
Also remember to check out the promotions.
She might have had her feet tangled with Kyle Black, was the Wisconsin player who was making a move to the basket. And what was a loud and emotional arena here has become very quiet. Not only do you see Cassie Vander Hayden down in pain, but you could hear her yelling in pain immediately after she planted that leg.
Yes, you could. It's just you have to hope for the best right now, and you never know at this point how bad the injury is, and you just hope that it's not as bad as it looks.
We'll take a break. Wisconsin 12, Minnesota 2. Well, almost painfully quiet. Cassie Vander Hayden, her right leg, as she planted to try and stay with Kyle Black. It looked like it just kind of stuck to the floor as her body tried to pivot towards the basket, and they had to carry her off of the court. And there really is no good time for an injury in any sport, but of all days, the final game of the regular season, they're really, it makes it even worse, I guess is the only way to say it.
Yes, it does. And I'm sure the fans are disappointed, as well as her family, and anyone who will be watching the game today, I'm sure, wanted to see her have a terrific game, which I'm sure she would have had.
Kelly Paulus finally ends the deadlock. We've been locked at 12-2 for about 5 minutes. Paulus makes it 14-2. Badgers, and now a foul on Jackie Tate. She was tangled up with Kyle Black for the loose ball. And still, we haven't seen any flow for Minnesota or Wisconsin in their half-court games. Both seem to be a little uncomfortable this afternoon.
What's plagued Minnesota all year long is their shooting percentage, and today they're having the same problems. Only 2 points on the board right now, and there's just no outside shooting today at all. They're trying to force it down low, and it's not happening for them.
7 turnovers already for Minnesota. And a travel is called on Missy Konitschke out of Portage, Wisconsin, a 6'2" sophomore center.
What keeps Minnesota in most games is their defense. They do have an up-tempo defense that really can hold teams. Until they start scoring like Hansen did just there, you need more than defense.
Breaks the deadlock for Minnesota, 14-4. Hansen with 2 points. Jackie Tate has the other Minnesota bucket.
Minnesota going back into a man-to-man. And the matchups right now are looks pretty good down low.
Sims turnaround jumper no good. Rebound to Antoinetta Blevins, Tweet Blevins out of Marion Junction, Alabama. Hansen with a head fake to get closer, and Hansen has 4 points. 14-6 Badgers. Gophers down by 8.
I'll tell you what, we've seen Hansen do that throughout the years. She's had some up games and some down games, and when she plays her A game, she can get in there and score.
Gophers doing a good job, Lea, of gaining position down in the paint, because you can tell that Wisconsin really is trying to work the ball down low. And Minnesota really hasn't given the Badgers any good looks.
Yes, rebounding really going to be a key for this game. And as we said before, Minnesota could really lead in that category because Wisconsin is not the best rebounding team in the Big Ten. And Minnesota, why they stuck in there with Purdue on Fridays, because they out-rebounded them.
That's her first personal 5th team foul.
4 points for Mindy Hansen. A foul away from the basket on Amy Wiersma. Sonia Robinson no good. Tweet Blevins coming up with a big offensive rebound. Haven't seen a whole lot of Tweet Blevins. We haven't done a game in nearly a month, and she wasn't seeing a lot of playing time, but junior out of Alabama, Cheryl Littlejohn, has high hopes for Tweet Blevins next year, and this is the time to get her in there and gain some experience.
Absolutely. She's a player that is real quick, likes to take a couple steps in and pass the ball real fast, and we've seen that a couple times already today.
Hansen's shot no good. Rebound Wiersma. Under 10 minutes to go. Wisconsin leading by 8, 14-16.
Wisconsin looking to get the ball down low inside, and as we talked about earlier, Minnesota doing a nice job of clogging the inside.
Konieczny to Wiersma, and Wiersma can't put it in. Whistle and a foul, and Wisconsin's going to hang on to the ball here, but again, nice swarming defense by the Golden Gophers down low.
This is really going to be a battle down low today. In fact, Mindy Hansen, again, we talked earlier about her having up and down games, and if she can continue to score for Minnesota, they're definitely going to need it.
Hansen sits. Teresa LeCure enters the game. Kyle Black with a three-pointer, giving Wisconsin a 17-6 lead. Those are the first points for Kyle Black, another first-year player out of Indianapolis. Tweet Blevins.
He's a quick little slight player that likes to slide right into the paint, and as you said earlier, I think we're going to see a lot more of her next season, and hopefully she'll get some playing time in the Big Ten tournament that will help her along this year.
Dee Pate for three. That didn't hit anything but the floor. And out of bounds to the Golden Gophers. Nobody touched it on the way out. Jessie Stomski will re-enter the game for the Badgers and replace Amy Wiersma. Gophers trailing by 9. Badgers 17, Minnesota 8.
One thing Minnesota is doing is they're making Wisconsin work for their outside shots. It's been very difficult for Wisconsin to get the ball in down low, and Wisconsin's taking it from far out.
LeCure driving with the right hand is fouled on her way to the basket. She'll shoot two.
And that's really what Coach Littlejohn wants to see from her team. They don't have to make the basket, but get physical and drive to the basket and get yourself on the free throw line. And that's exactly what LeCure does.
And then make the free throws.
Then make them.
If the one thing the Gophers have been disappointed about this year, and in particular that Friday game against Purdue, is their foul shooting. They really felt like if they had made a few more foul shots, that could have put them over the top against the Boilermakers on Friday.
It usually can. When you look back into the box scores and see where you missed the points, it's usually on that free throw line, and that shot's just a given.
Gophers luck out with a Robinson offensive rebound.
Minnesota really working down low trying to get the ball and unable to get a nice pass down to one of the post players.
Sometimes it's just not there. Nice move by Moore. Goes by about 3 Gophers. Put a big move on Blevins.
Wow.
And then lays it in.
Makes you remember the days of the North High Championship. That was a sweet move down low.
3 points for Moore. LeCure is fouled again. Teresa LeCure trying to make something happen, penetrating, and had that big game against Purdue with 13 points and is aggressive so far today.
I think it has to be frustrating for Minnesota as you practice shooting every day, every single day, and you can come in on your own and you can take time out on weekends or whenever to come in and shoot from the free throw line and practice your shot. Yet in the games, it's just not sinking for them.
Kelly Paulus replaces Kyle Black. Black had a couple of fouls. She'll sit. LeCure 0 for 3 from the line today. 0 for 4. Konieczny the rebound.
Very, very frustrating.
And they throw it away. LeCure with another chance.
There you go. Give it back to Blevins and let her set up the offense. I thought she might go full court with it.
Maybe thinking about those foul shots, trying to get all 4 of those shots back with 1 shot. But last I checked, there isn't a 4-pointer yet. Good look to Jackie Tate down low. And the Gophers now in double digits, trailing 19-10. But the Badgers come right back with LaTanya Sims.
And whenever the Badgers need anything quick, they go to Sims, and she's usually able to pull it off for them.
9 points for Sims, and now Blevins throws it away.
What I like about the Gopher team that is out there right now is they're very athletic. They said they're going to make some turnovers, but they're a young athletic team, and they're fun to watch.
21-10 Wisconsin. Badgers by 11, 7:06 left in the first half. Cassie Vander, we've been told, who went down with the right knee injury, will not return. Stomski strong to the hole, fouled by Bowden.
You have to like this nice little spin move that Stomski throws out there. Wasn't really sure she was going to make it, but she threw it up and put herself on the line.
That's the 3rd foul already for Monique Bowden. Stomski short on the first foul shot. Jessie Stomski from Tartan High School. All conference, all state, not only in basketball, but also in volleyball. And you brought this up earlier, Leah, not only having a great freshman year, but leading the Big Ten in field goal percentage as a freshman. Having a terrific year, makes the 2nd foul shot. 22-10 Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most impressive stat about Stomski, is that to be a freshman and to be that consistent where you're leading the Big Ten in field goal percentage shows that you're really, really coming out and you're a serious player. So she's really proven herself this year.
Mindy Hansen is hammered as she makes her way to the basket.
Typical Hansen style, she's going to take whatever she has to go into the basket, and she goes flying, but she usually doesn't mind.
A little hip check for Missy Konieczny.
A couple bruises here and there. She'll be fine.
A foul and 2 minutes for roughing. And again, the Gophers struggling at the line. Hansen misses the first one. Mindy with 4 points in the game so far. And gets the second one. Gophers down by 11, 22-11. Badgers break the press with Stomski bringing it up court. Kelly Paulus looking for Konieczny. Stomski with a head fake against Bell. And a jump ball is called. I think the Gopher bench was hoping for an offensive foul.
Wow. Let's see if she's set down low. I think that could have been
Well, you've
an
got
offensive foul.
You've got Stomski at about 6'3", 6'4", Bell at 6'7". I think they didn't even see Tweet Blevins down there.
Maybe that was it.
Kim Bell called on the foul of Konieczny. There's Jessie Stomski. Saw some Tartan High School letter jackets at the game while the teams are going through the layups, going through the warm-ups.
You never know how someone's going to play when they come back to their home state to play. A lot of times you just will be so nervous and uncomfortable that you'll just have an awful game when you go back home, and other times you'll have a career game.
Aaron Olsen replaces Tweet Blevins in the lineup. Talking with Jody Adams, assistant coach on the Gopher bench. 24-11 Wisconsin, 6 minutes to go in the first half. Jackie Tate high off the glass. Robinson comes up with the rebound and the putback.
I'll tell you what, Sonia Robinson got up for that rebound. She went above everyone else out there and pulled that board down. That's exactly what she needs to continue to do for the rest of the afternoon.
Kim Bell with a big block on Stomski, but Paulus wide open for three, and she nails it.
It's going to make it very difficult against this Wisconsin team because they've proven they can hit from outside and they can also make it from inside, so you have to play them straight up on defense. You cannot cheat with this team.
Second three-pointer of the game for Kelly Paulus. She has 9. Olsen gives off to Robinson, and Bell is going to be whistled for going over the top.
It's all about positioning, and Bell did not have it that time. That's the one thing that's interesting about rebounding, and especially with Wisconsin having so many tall players, is you'd think they would be the best rebounders in the Big Ten. But it's more about positioning and getting your stance and knowing where the ball is and being smart, and that's what makes great rebounders.
Both teams in the bonus. Konieczny shooting 1 and 1, misses the front end, and Bell comes away with the rebound. 5 minutes to go. Badgers by 14, 27-13 the score. Hansen almost gets the bounce on the three. Sims comes away with the rebound. Moore crashes into Olsen. Stomski misses the shot, and Konieczny fouled and the bucket.
I'll tell you what, this is a physical game. There's been more people down on the floor, being knocked over, being run over than I've seen in a couple of games. Moore comes plowing through here, and nothing's called there. And it's been an interesting game of people falling all over.
Konieczny hits the back end of the three-point play.
Wisconsin substitution number 24, DD8, replacing Missy Konieczny.
And DD Pate comes in for Konieczny. Konieczny with 4 points in the game. Badgers also giving up about 7 inches with 6'2" Konieczny leaving and Pate at 5'5" coming in. 30-13 Badgers. And a nice defensive play there by Pate, knocking away from Aaron Olsen.
Wisconsin may have given up 7 inches, but they probably gained what they gained in speed, and seeing her able to grab the ball and get the steals is probably much worth it.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Hansen from the foul line, can't get it to fall. Paulus with a long rebound. Gophers have had better looks down low so far, Leah, and just haven't been able to knock down the outside shots. Moore sinks a 3, and the Badgers have a 20-point lead.
Wow, I'll tell you what, this is a versatile Wisconsin team. Once you think you know what they're going to do, they pop up with something new.
6 points for Tamara Moore, and a foul down low as Kim Bell is trying to get position. Tanya Sims will be whistled, her second foul. 10th team foul on the Badgers. Kim Bell will shoot 2.
Bell with 2 crucial free throws in the Purdue game on Friday, which he sank both of them. It's kind of nice to see a player at 6'7" be able to shoot the free throws, because usually when you get the bigger players, it's a little harder for them to have the form and the nice shot that the guards always seem to have.
Made those 2 look easy as well. 33-15 Badgers, 3:38 left, timeout, and we'll be right back. We'll be taking on the San Antonio Spurs tomorrow at 7 p.m. You can catch the game right here on MSC. Nice to see the Timberwolves back in action. When we were working together our last game, we were still, I believe, either in the middle of the lockout or just at the end of the lockout.
Yes, we are very pleased to be up and running again.
Of course, we all know that Lea runs the show over at Target Center. Another jump ball. This time the arrow pointed in the Minnesota direction.
As we said earlier, we're going to see a lot of turnovers today, a lot of hustling, a lot of people falling on the floor. The last game of the season.
Brandy and Brandy in the game for Minnesota. Number 5 Harris, number 30 Pickens seeing their first action.
Coach Littlejohn's really going for the bench today and taking everyone out.
Aaron Olsen's 3-point shot is no good, but Mindy Hansen comes up an offensive rebound.
Now, Coach Albright Dieterle is very clearly telling her players to watch the guards up top and do not leave them wide open.
Gophers had 2 open looks beyond the 3-point arc, couldn't get him to fall, and now Wisconsin with 2.5 minutes to go. Badgers have led from the outset and have had a lead as much as 20 points. And a foul down low is going to be called on Sarah Jurovec out of Stevens Point's Wisconsin.
Now, when was the last time? I mean, they're working up down low underneath. And Sonia, poor Sonia, she's always the smallest person down there, but she's never scared to throw the elbows and get down to the floor.
Has to be saying to herself, what am I doing down here against
exactly.
players
Only
that
5'10",
size?
help.
Yeah. Robinson nails the first foul shot, has 3 points. Jurovic is 6'4". Another tall player for the Badgers. Taking over that role of Amy Wiersma at 6'5" next year. Wiersma will be gone because of graduation. Badgers good ball movement to break the press, and Paulus nails the open jumper. They made that look easy.
That was perfection. How do you beat a press? You pass the ball and you have nice crisp passes all the way down the court to perfection by the Wisconsin Badgers.
11 points for Kelly Paulus, leading all scorers. Sonia Robinson has it rim out. So Minnesota's had their chances. They've had their open shots. Just haven't been able to find the bottom of the basket.
Been the storyline, Ryan, for most of the season.
Moore not fouled. Somebody got a piece of it. Aaron Olsen will set things up. Badgers doing a good job of getting back on defense. Randy Harris has it stolen by Paulus with 1:15 to go.
Wisconsin's really not playing Minnesota straight up because Minnesota hasn't shown that they have an outside shot consistently. So Wisconsin's really falling back and saying, hey, if you want to shoot from out there, go ahead. You're going to have to prove it to us.
Nice move by Moore. Misses with the right hand. And another foul called on Jurovic. She's really quick.
Hard to believe.
She's
freshman.
And she's made a nice adjustment. We were talking before the game that you saw her play in high school, and it's really tough to gauge at that level how well they're going to do in college.
During the first weeks of
Wallace has the hot hand, 11 points, make it 13.
Wallace can get that jump shot off quicker than anyone I've seen. You can't let her alone because she just needs a second to get set and she's done.
Out of lacrosse, Wisconsin, coming off a game where she scored 19 against Illinois on Friday in that overtime victory. Jackie Tate gets the Gophers' first tray of the afternoon. Jackie Tate with 7 points, cutting the lead to 16. 10 seconds to go. Paulus hoping for the last shot, and why not? She's got 13. Loose ball out of bounds at the buzzer. So the Badgers, who trailed Minnesota by 7 at half when the two teams met back in December, now has a 16-point lead at the Sports Pavilion in Minneapolis. Littlejohn in just a few moments. It is Black History Month, and it's also Senior Day. Both the seniors of the Golden Gophers being honored, as well as a Black History Month prior to the game. Sonia Robinson, a senior for the Golden Gophers, has been very much involved in the African American Mentoring Program directed by former Gopher Linda Roberts at the University of Minnesota. And Lea Olsen had the chance to talk with Linda, Sonia, and discuss the mentoring program, and here's what she found.
Playing sports on the college level has become extremely competitive in the past 5 years. Getting into a program is one thing, but as many athletes discover, the real pressure starts when they begin to juggle athletics, school, and social commitments.
Linda Roberts Women's Athletics may help you.
One of the ways the University of Minnesota helps athletes deal with the pressure is their mentoring program. U of M Women's Athletics Administrative Assistant Linda Roberts oversees the African American Mentoring Program.
We have an African American mentor support program that's been in existence for about the past 9 years. It's an opportunity for our student athletes, African American student athletes, to cultivate a relationship with university as well as community mentors, to form a bond, and basically just be there for support.
The waiting was like 2 years.
I know. It's
I was like,
incredible.
wow.
More than 260 student athletes take part in the African American Mentoring Program at the university. Because so many students come from so many different places around the world, it's advantageous for them and the university to help make them feel at home while here on campus.
I think it's a great opportunity. Again, it's an opportunity for them to form a bond with a professional person. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have directors, we have managers, we have just basic people who are interested in ensuring that the student-athlete experience here in Minnesota, as well as on campus, is a good one.
Once we get that rolling again, then it'll be back to normal.
Wow.
Student athletes are paired with mentors who are professionals in the community and often have some affiliation with the university. Because I was a student athlete myself at the university from 1987 to 1990, I volunteered to be a mentor to basketball player Sonia Robinson.
I think I learned that one from you.
As her mentor, we get together every few months, often just to talk.
So has your family been able to come down?
Because Sonia came to the U from Arizona, having a mentor gave her the opportunity to connect with her new community.
For most African American athletes here at the University of Minnesota, they're coming from states where, you know, the percentage of African Americans is a lot more than 2%. So when they come here, it's like a big culture shock. Sometimes the teams themselves don't even have that many African Americans on the teams, then they feel kind of lonely, I guess I can say that. So having someone to talk to about those feelings, about how to get involved, you know, outside of the university if that's necessary, that's always good to have someone to talk to.
Being a mentor is a very rewarding experience and gives me a chance to really get to know the players, and especially Sonia. Sonia, too, has found many benefits to the relationship.
Lea has been awesome. You know, she's always there to talk to me. Sometimes on the sidelines I have to come by and give her a high five before our MSC games, things like that. And she's always smiling, which is great. You know, you don't see smiles too much here when it's snowing. So it's really exciting to have a contact outside of the university.
Welcome back. Wisconsin leading Minnesota by 16 At halftime at the Sports Pavilion, Ryan Lefebvre along with Lea Olsen, and you can go into all the things you try and predict before a game starts, and we knew emotion was going to be a big part of that, but maybe a little bit too much emotion at the beginning of the game, and really for the most of the first half, neither team really getting into a flow.
I never felt like either team felt good going up and down the court. There was never really a good transition basketball. It kept stopping, a lot of turnovers, pushing and shoving, and that sometimes happens on the last game of the season.
A couple of surprises in this game. Not necessarily players you wouldn't expect to have big games, but at the top of the list so far right now for Wisconsin is Kelly Paulus, and she's had a tremendous game driving to the hoop, and also a big game from the outside as well.
Absolutely. Paulus is a nice player. She loves to shoot from outside, and she gets her jump shot off quicker than any other player that I've seen come through the Sports Pavilion. A nice game so far.
And for Minnesota, 21 points in the first half. Jackie Tate showing some athletic ability inside and outside as well.
As we talk about Minnesota continually changing their lineup, and Tate has made it into the starting lineup, and she's doing a nice job. She's a strong player underneath, and hopefully we'll see more and more from her.
When you talk about Minnesota carrying the momentum from the Purdue game into this Wisconsin game, they did shoot 54% in the second half of the Purdue game. Not off to a very good start in the first half against Wisconsin.
And really that made the difference in why they were able to hang into that game to the last minutes. If you look here, 25.9%, you're not going to win a lot of games shooting that percentage.
All right, when we come back, we'll have the second half. See if the Gophers can turn things around against the Badgers in the final game for Minnesota for the seniors at the Sports Pavilion in 1999. We'll be right back. Sign says goodbye, Mindy, Sonia, and Swan, as in Hansen, Robinson, and Taylor. Senior day at the Sports Pavilion. And I'm sure that theme came up in the locker room at halftime, that seniors reminding some of the younger players and perhaps reminding themselves that this is it. Final home game as the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and the Gophers have their work cut out for them, down by 16 to the Badgers.
You look back at your career, Ryan, you always remember that game. Regardless of how well you did, you just remember it because it was so, your parents were there and everything surrounding it, and possibly the last game you play in front of an audience.
Jackie Tate whistled for the foul as Sims tried to go to the basket. And what can be difficult about it at times is Sims nails the first foul shot. She has 10 points. Is the years preceding it, as you watch the other seniors when their final game comes up, and it's very emotional, and it kind of hits you that much harder when you realize that you are in that position now and it is your final game. It's almost surreal.
It always comes very quickly.
Sims nails both foul shots. Wisconsin leads 39-21. Mindy Hansen driving to the basket, can't get it to fall, and Sims comes up with the board.
Hansen is really looking today. She's going to drive the ball and take it in every time, and that was a really nice drive on the other end, and again, it just didn't fall for her, but a nice look.
Well, Jackie Tate is whistled for a foul on Jessie Stomski, so not the start Minnesota was looking for. And a quick pass into Stomski. She can't make the layup. Break here for the Gophers.
Gophers really need to take advantage of every miss that the Badgers have and turn it around for two on the other end.
Hansen shot short. Jessie Stomski the rebound. Gophers did a good job on Jessie Stomski in the first half. She has just 1 point, but Tamara Moore had 6 points in the first half, now 8. The foul in the bucket.
I'll tell you what, we talked a lot in the open about Stomski, like you said, but Moore is having an outstanding game and really knows how to create all on her own. She doesn't need anyone else to set her up. She can do it all on her own.
Monique Bowden replaces Jackie Tate. Tamara Moore out of Minneapolis North completes the three-point play. Her head coach at North, Faith Johnson, is a former Badger. So there's a Wisconsin-Minnesota connection there. Another Minnesota-Wisconsin connection there. 42-21. biggest lead of the game for the Badgers at 21 points. They had a 20-point lead in the first half. Levens has it knocked out of bounds by D.D. Pate. Gophers still have the ball with 11 seconds on the shot clock.
The jitters seem to be continuing in the second half here, not quite being able to control the ball, scrambling, trying to find the open player.
How much of it do you think is Wisconsin disrupting what Minnesota's doing, and how much of it is, that's a two-pointer by Tweet Levens, how much of it is it, Lea, just maybe the Gophers trying too hard to duplicate what they did on Friday against Purdue?
I think you really have to give a lot of credit to Wisconsin, because usually the nerves and everything after the first half, all that stuff is really usually gone. And when the Gophers come out now, they should just be playing good basketball. And I think they have to look at Wisconsin defensively and say, hey, they're doing a nice job.
Foul on Sonia Robinson, her third. Mindy Hansen comes up with a loose ball, gives it away to Stomski. Here's a 3-on-1. Robinson got in the way of the pass for Sims. And an offensive foul called on the Badgers. Didn't see who they whistled. I think it was Moore. We'll see what happened. There's Robinson coming in to cut it off.
Wow.
Moore with the little motion as if she was going to the foul line to shoot. Not exactly. Here's Bowden just inside the arc. And rebound to Kelly Paulus, who we mentioned leading all scorers with 13, catching Minnesota off guard. She's capable of scoring big points. She had 19 against Illinois, but has been wide open with her outside shots and has been nailing most of them. Didn't get it there. And another offensive foul. Jessie Stomski whistled this time. Third personal foul on Stomski.
Coach Albright Dieterle saying, clean it up. Let's keep our lead. Let's keep doing what we've been doing and stop turning the ball over. And Minnesota on the other end, they need to get more than one shot off. They've been getting one shot off, and Wisconsin gets the boards, and that's it. And they need to get down there and get a second and third shot.
Robinson picks up the rebound after Hansen's miss and then draws a foul. And she's going to shoot two.
That'll work. That's what it takes. You get the rebound, try to put the ball up, and if you get the foul, that's just good. As long as you put them in.
A couple players for Wisconsin in some foul trouble as Robinson makes the first shot. Sims was whistled for the foul. That's her third. Jessie Stomski also has 3 fouls. The Gophers, Robinson at the line with 3, and Monique Bowden also with 3 fouls. 42-24. Badgers in the lead, 17 minutes to go in the second half. Stomski puts it in with the left hand. Nice feed from LaTanya Sims. 44-24, another 20-point lead.
I'll tell you what, when you watch Sims and Stomski's play down low together, they're very generous with the ball. They always pass it to one another. Neither of them is just trying to get their own points. They play very well down low together.
And LeCure throws it away. Blevins goes for the loose ball. Sandwich between head coaches Jody Adams and Tori Harrison on the bench. Gophers take a 20-second timeout.
Look, she's a nice finesse player, as we talked about earlier. Moving the ball, getting it down low. If she's in the paint down low, she's going to make it.
She has 3 points. Jessie Stomski has been hot in her last 2 games. She has 57 points, as a matter of fact, in her last 2 games. On Friday in that overtime game against Illinois, she had 23. And then a week ago against Ohio State, she came up with 34 points. Gophers down by 20. Wisconsin still playing good defense. Mindy Hansen with a nifty move. Basket and the foul.
She's been doing it all afternoon. She's been taking the ball with abandon to the basket, and she is going to start letting them drop, and there it is.
7 points for Mindy Hansen. Chaska, Minnesota, has never missed a game in her Golden Gopher career. Can't clean up the three-point play. Stomski the rebound. Long pass for Moore, 2-on-1. And Paulus, no good. Kim Bell the rebound. Kelly Paulus hit just about every shot in the first half. She's 0 for 2 here in the second half.
Wisconsin making it hard for Minnesota to find somewhere to shoot.
And Hansen turns it over. Cheryl Littlejohn saying that Mindy Hansen is the mirror image of the head coach's enthusiasm for the game. Loves the game, breathes the game, lives the game just the way Cheryl Littlejohn wants all of her players.
She really does, and a lot of players don't have that. They play the game, but they don't love the game. They don't really know the game like that. And Hansen is definitely one of those players that loves that game and works hard for it. And will do whatever her role has to be, if it's coming off the bench or starting, whatever it needs to be.
How about this mismatch? 5'5" Dee Dee Tate against 6'7" Kim Bell.
Ouch.
And Pate doesn't get the roll.
You got to give Pate some credit there for that, being too chicken to go in there against 6'7" Bell.
Couple of substitutions. Kyle Black coming in for Kelly Paulus on the Wisconsin side. Aaron Olsen replaces Teresa LeCure for the Golden Gophers. And Pate misses both foul shots, and Bell comes down with the rebound. Aaron Olsen, a junior out of Mitchell, South Dakota. She'll be back next year. Hansen trying to break free and drops a shot from the outside and has 9 points.
So you can tell now when Hansen gets the ball that she knows she's going to score. And that's the kind of confidence that the other Gophers really need to have. As you get the ball, you look to the basket and you say, I'm going to score the ball. And Hansen has that.
And then Jessie Stomski coming back and showing a good shooting touch for a 6'3" first-year player. Back to an 18-point lead for the Badgers, 46-28, under 15 minutes to go. Robinson pulls up from the foul line. Bell comes up with the rebound. That's kind of the plan, isn't it, Leah, for Kim Bell in the future? Just
absolutely. She gets the position, she gets the garbage shot, she can pull down any rebound and put it back in. That's exactly what they want her to do.
Tweet Blevins injured on the play. LaTanya Sims picks up the rebound in the bucket. And Tweet Blevins hit the floor hard. I didn't see exactly what happened to her, other than she might have hit her head on the floor. That is not a very good spot on the court today.
Absolutely not.
And we'll take a break. 48-30, Wisconsin in the lead. Badgers by 18. 14 and a half minutes to go in the second half. Look at Tweet Blevins, who came down crashing to the floor, and she will sit. The Gophers already with an injury. Cassie Vander injured her right knee in the first half and is now sitting on the end of the Gophers bench with sweats and crutches. That's not a very good sign. Kim Bell had a wide open shot, and in frustration reaches over the shoulder of Tamara Bell.
See the two Minneapolis girls, Minneapolis Washburn going against Minneapolis North, and it is a fierce battle for the ball.
Jump ball in favor of the Golden Gophers. Bell misses the shot again, looking for the rebound. Olsen comes up with it. Another jump ball. This time they will head west in the Wisconsin direction. Well, east on the map, but west on the basketball court.
There you go. Gophers throwing on full court pressure, seeing if they can get a turnover from this Wisconsin team. This time they do a nice job of breaking the press simply by dribbling up court.
Nice play by Kim Bell, knocking it away to Aaron Olsen. Hansen was wide open. I think she was had that jump shot in mind before she received the pass.
A little bit frustrating. Take their turnover and you got to turn it into something. And right here is a nice little tip. Olsen looks down court all the way to Hansen. And sometimes you get ready to shoot before you get the ball, or you just don't quite get the ball. You can catch the ball, and there it goes out of bounds.
Swan Taylor back into the game for the Golden Gophers, replacing Aaron Olsen. And LaTanya Sims is going to be fouled. I think the fans
I would like to
that
see
to
that
be a clean
again.
block.
Look at Bell. She's trying to be straight up, and Sims just decides to go right into her. From Sims' standpoint, it's a sign of a good player who knows how to get a foul down low. And from Bell's standpoint, she's like, hey, I was standing straight up. What more can I do?
Fourth foul on Kim Bell. A couple of substitutions for Wisconsin. Kelly Paulus and Amy Wiersma into the game. Brandy Pickens for Minnesota replaces Kim Bell with those 4 fouls. Sims misses both foul shots, but Wiersma at 6'5" gets the rebound, but she can't follow.
I wonder if Wiersma's fingers are bothering her or something, because she usually has a very nice touch right underneath. It doesn't miss the little shots.
Mindy Hansen aggressive to the basket. Can't get to the fall. LeCure, no good. Robinson takes care of it. 2 offensive rebounds for Minnesota, and Robinson gets the 2 points. Sims' turnaround jumper is no good. And out of bounds, it will stay with the Badgers. You mentioned Amy Wiersma with an injured finger, coming off an operation.
And we talked about how important rebounding will be this year, and Sonia right there. She can leap. She's never going to be the tallest, but she certainly can leap.
Hollis has it spin in and out. That was a 3-point attempt. Brandy Pickens gets it to Hansen. Hansen pulls up for 3. And Mindy Hansen has 12 points, leading all Minnesota scorers.
Hansen has decided to make the best out of senior day, and she's really having a tremendous game today.
13-point Wisconsin lead, 48-35, 12 minutes to go. And Robinson takes it away. So the Gophers gaining a little momentum here. They still have quite a deficit to erase, but they have been the dominant team in the last 3-4 minutes.
Starting to take care of the ball a little bit better and starting to hit some crucial shots when they do get the ball, work it offensively, and they start to hit them.
And Pickens is going to be called with a moving screen. She was telling Swan Taylor to go to the right, and she really didn't have position.
Finishing the personal on number 30, Brandy Pickens. That's your first personal foul.
Gophers with their 7th team foul, so Dee Pate is going to shoot 1 and 1.
I like the thought there with Pickens, and she knows that she's got to communicate to Swantrika that, hey, if you're I'm gonna pick for you here, and you're gonna be able to get open, but you can't be moving and you can't push forward into it, else you get called like she did there.
Teresa LeCure ran into a roadblock. Kelly Paulus there. Robinson's turnaround shot doesn't fall. And again, LaTanya Sims doing a good job on both ends of the court, comes up with a rebound.
Sims very comfortable in bringing the ball full court. Knows how to dribble it, feels comfortable in that role.
She might be the only one comfortable in that role.
That's about it.
Kyle Black with a 3-pointer. 51-35 Wisconsin.
Really nice look. Wiersma and Black having some good communication, and a pass in, a pass back out, and the 2 points.
Kyle Black described as the 3-point specialist. for the Badgers. Here's Mindy Hansen. That's a two-pointer. She has 14 points and now leads all scorers.
I think you can officially say that she's on fire.
51-37 Badgers. Sims, nice crossover move.
Wow. She is just a fun athlete to watch. Her finesse underneath is incredible.
And now she leads all scorers with 15 points. Under 10 minutes to go. LeCure finds Robinson. Robinson back to LeCure and uses the glass.
Gophers starting to feel a little bit more confident. And they're shooting. They're saying, hey, nothing here to lose. I'm just going to do what I can do, and it's looking much better.
Kyle Black with another three-point attempt, no good. And Sims stepped on the end line. So the Gophers starting to put things together here in the second half. They have 14 points to make up. Badgers lead 53-39. Ever wonder what the cameramen do during the commercial breaks? There you have it. There's Mark. What does that look like, a root beer float?
I think it might have been. It didn't look too tasty.
No. Only because he had it and we didn't.
Yeah, that's probably it.
9.5 minutes left in the second half. Wisconsin leading 53-39. Gophers will lead a little better flow in the second half than they did in the first half.
Absolutely. They're playing with a lot more confidence. They're moving the ball a little better. And when they take a shot, it looks like they know they're going to make it, which helps.
Bowden turnaround shot swatted by Amy Wiersma. Kyle Black elects to set up the offense. She was at a 1-on-3 disadvantage there. Kyle Black has a couple of three-point shots behind the back, guarded by Taylor, but the shot doesn't fall. Mindy Hansen has the hot hand for the Golden Gophers, 14 points. That is deflected by Tamara Moore. She had nowhere to go but out of bounds. So the Gophers will hang on to the ball, 15 seconds on the shot clock.
I like the fact that Hansen is looking for the shot now. Just right there, they needed to work the ball around a little bit because no one had loosened up and the defense was still very tight. I'll tell you what, with 8 minutes and 40 seconds left to go, they're going to really notice not having Cassie Vander Hayden in her three-point hand, because that really would have made a difference in this game.
We're going to foul Monique Bowden on the eye. It is on Bowden. And Wiersma's smiling. She's had an injury-plagued career. You can see the tape on her right hand there. She had surgery on her right middle finger. She had a bone chip in there. And missed about 11 games.
It's a very strange injury to have as a big player. I mean, usually you worry about the knees and you worry about the ankles and all of that, but to be out for 11 games with a bone chip in your middle finger is a different injury than you get usually in the Big Ten.
Injured her left hand last year and missed 12 games, had an ACL injury in 1995. She has earned her battle stripes while in Madison.
Yes, she has.
Does not sink the foul shot on a 1-and-1. Still 53-39. Moore takes it away and goes in all alone. Tamara Moore with 11 points. And now a 16-point Badger lead.
Moore is very, very psyched up to be playing this well at home. She's shown a lot of skills out here today on the floor.
Mindy Hansen breaks loose, and Hansen has 16 points.
And that's a great look by Hansen because they have loosened up the defense as Minnesota worked the ball very nicely around. And Hansen got it. She was wide open.
Tamara Moore now has the freshman record for steals at Wisconsin. She leads the team in steals and is going to become the first freshman in school history to lead the team in steals, assists, and free throw percentage all in the first year.
What can you say? Very impressive.
Sure, some Gopher fans would like to see her in maroon and gold right now. Jackie Tate's shot, no good. Timeout. Wisconsin leading by 14 with 7:14 to go. We'll be right back. Well, if Gopher fans already miss having Tamara Moore in the state of Minnesota playing already, they miss her even more and wish that she was wearing maroon and gold, having a great game.
She really is, and she's been a force for the entire game, and look forward to watching her the next 3 years.
As we mentioned earlier, now has 61 steals for the freshman record at Wisconsin. Kelly Paulus shooting 1 and 1. Those are her first points in the second half, after coming up with 13 in the first half. Tweet Blevins replaces Aaron Olsen. 56-41 Wisconsin.
Maybe they should make it illegal for Wisconsin to recruit in Minnesota.
In all sports.
In all sports.
Football, hockey, everything.
Stop taking our players.
That's right. That actually is a very interesting topic, because Wisconsin has done a better job over the years of taking away Minnesota talent than Minnesota has done taking away potential Badger talent. It's not only just the players that have a rivalry, but the coaches in recruiting.
Absolutely.
18 points, Mindy Hansen. Her career high is 24.
You never know on this Gopher team on any given night who's going to be the player that comes out and is going to be the high scorer. And Sonia Robinson has showed a lot of consistency, but all of a sudden Hansen comes out of nowhere and has a tremendous game. And I think if you piece that together game after game after game, that's when you start making a difference in the win-lose column.
For instance, the Badgers, Jessie Stomski with only 5 points, but Kelly Paulus with 15. Tamara Moore with that nice little lay-in has 13 points. Somebody else steps up.
Absolutely. You need 2 or 3 players in double figures for this thing to work.
Jackie Tate's running jumper won't go. Under 6 minutes to go, and the Badgers are leading by 16, 59-43. Gophers have played better in this half, as we talked about, but they are still in the same spot that they were at the beginning of the second half, down by 16 points.
Very difficult to recover at this point, because not only do you have to be very consistent in hitting all your shots, as your defense has to start shutting Wisconsin down, and that just hasn't happened yet.
Tweet Blevins kicks it out to Hansen. That's a 2-pointer, 20 points, Mindy Hansen.
I really think that's what Blevins does best. She drives down low, making you think she's going to take the shot, and passes out very quickly.
Now the other way. Konechny, Missy Konechny can't come up with a shot. This time Blevins will pull up, and Konechny with the rebound. Blevins and Kyle Black locked up on that play, and a 20-second timeout is called by Wisconsin. So now it's a 14-point deficit for Minnesota with 5:04 left in the second half. Well, we'll see the Badger men's basketball team on MSC. The Badgers ranked number 15 right now, and that's a good matchup against Ohio State. They've really turned their program back in the right direction. The Buckeyes are at 13, and this will be in Columbus Wednesday at 7 p.m. right here on MSC, your ultimate sports connection, celebrating 10 years in sports.
One thing about Wisconsin is you really have to give Coach Jane Albright a lot of credit for turning this program around. Back in the days when I played, Wisconsin was the team you usually knew you could beat. And since she's been here, she has done a lot of really great things for this program.
Jessie Stomski with 2 points. She has 7. Jane Albright Dieterle, to just add to your point, Leah, came to Wisconsin. They had had 1 winning season in 10 years. And when she took over 5 years ago, she figured it was going to be a 5-year turnaround. Well, she's had 5 straight winning seasons. And if she makes it to the NCAA this year, it'll be her 4th in 5 years. And not only did she turn things around in her first couple years, she won 20 games in her first couple years.
It really is amazing. It's almost like you want to go study the program and say, what does it take? You know, what have you done? And a lot of it is recruiting. And she's had a chance to recruit some great players. And she's also had a successful career before she got to Wisconsin at Northern Illinois as well. But I just wonder what it takes to put all the pieces of the puzzle together.
Kelly Paulus takes it away, is fouled on her way to the basket. I think recruiting definitely is the key, Leah. One of the things that Jane Albright Dieterle can brag about is that she's had 2 top 10 recruiting classes in the last 4 years.
We get some little push falls down underneath as the last game of the season slowly starts to wind up.
4:23 left. Monique Bowden's going to come into the game and replace Jackie Tate. Jackie Tate, looking forward to watching her play next year. She's only a freshman. .16 points for Kelly Paulus, inching closer to the 19 she scored on Friday against Illinois. 1996 Wisconsin Player of the Year out of lacrosse.
This day's a little bit more interesting now, Ryan, now that they do have the Big Ten tournament. It's no longer the last game that you'll be playing. So Minnesota will be heading into a big tournament where, hey, if you do everything right there and get all the wins, you're heading to the NCAA tournament. And really a lot different from the days when I played.
Tweet Blevins this time hangs onto the ball, picks up 2 points. She has 6 in the game. Well, there really aren't many basketball conferences left that are without a postseason tournament. That is definitely the trend in the 90s, both from a competition and financial standpoint.
Absolutely.
A couple more dollars never hurt the conference. 62-47 Badgers. 1 second on the shot clock. And Jessie Stomski caught holding the ball with her back to the hoop. Timeout on the floor, 3:36 to go. Badgers in the lead. Well, the Gophers have 3:36 to try and erase that 15-point deficit. And Leah, as you said before, they're going to have to do it without their 3-point shooting ace, Cassie Vander, who, if she's hot, that's instant offense.
Absolutely. They definitely missed her in the game today, and not knowing how bad the injury is right now, I don't know if we'll see her at all in postseason play, but I'm sure the Gophers are hoping that they will.
Went down with a right knee injury midway through the first half. Vander had that great game against Wisconsin back on December 28th. She scored 21 points, and she had 5 3-pointers in 7 minutes. It was red hot for one stretch there, as Wisconsin just did defeat Minnesota, though the Gophers led by 7 at half. This game has been all Badgers. Monique Bowden with the foul.
That's
her fifth personal foul.
Well, when it's difficult to put the ball in the basket and you're averaging about 36% for the year for the Gophers in shooting percentage, that's where it really, really does hurt to lose someone like Cassie Vander because she can spark this team. And that's sometimes all that you need, is to get someone with the hot hand and see if you can get the rest of them rolling a little bit here. And it's been difficult for the Gophers to get that rolling all season.
Bowden fouls out. Stomski hits the first foul shot. And I'll just add to that another thing Vander Hayden brings is that confidence. She's not afraid to take that three-point shot. And you have to remind yourself, only a freshman.
Right.
And you can tell she wishes she was out there right now. Stomski hits them both, now has 393 career points in 1 year at Wisconsin. That is a freshman record. Mindy Hansen picks up 2 more points, has 22, 2 away from her career high on senior day. And just as inappropriate as it seemed Vander Hayden getting injured on the final game of the season, it is equally as appropriate for Mindy Hansen to approach her career high on senior day.
Yes, it is. And you never knew with Hansen when it was going to come out, but I love it when it does because she is really a fierce competitor. In a game like today, you can tell that all she's thinking about is she's still trying to win this game, and she hasn't given up, and that's just the type of person that she is.
Foul is on Brandy Pickens. Jessie Stomski now in double digits with 10. $11 points for Stomski. About 2.5 minutes to go. And Dee Pate fouls Sweet Blevins.
That's your second personal foul and sixth team.
6th team foul on the Badgers, so Wisconsin still 1 away from the bonus.
Wisconsin again looking to clinch their first round bye in the Big Ten tournament. Well, they should probably have that in about 2.5 minutes here.
LaCure cleans up the missed shot. She has 4 points. And Wisconsin would love to have some time off. We told you at the outset, on Friday they completed their 4th consecutive overtime game. That is an NCAA record. And they've also tied a record with having 5 total overtime games this year. And Jane Albright said that they are a little exhausted right now. So that's a welcome break.
That is really, really difficult. And the team, they don't look tired today when you watch them play and see them hustling, but it really does make a big difference to go into overtime and how you feel and the exhaustion and the emotions that come from an overtime game. And so she's gonna like having a little break there and that bye in the tournament.
Moore misses the first shot. She has 13 points. The foul was on Sonia Robinson, her 4th. This is going to be a fun team. They're a fun team to watch right now, Leah, but next year, Wisconsin, I think, has their eyes set on the top of the Big Ten.
Yes, definitely. When you see a lot of first-year players playing well, the only word that you have is once in a while there's this sophomore slump that comes, and you never know until you get there, and it's usually because more players know about you and are prepared to play you, and so it doesn't give you the advantage that you have as a first-year player.
Jessie
Stomski with her 5th foul. So 11 points. And fouls out. Coming back to Minnesota. She will be a lot of fun to watch in the future. Maybe not the game she wanted to have in Minnesota with the point total, but made some big shots for the Badgers and threw some elbows today and got fouled out. Coming up next, we'll see if Purdue can rebound after almost being upset by Minnesota here at the Sports Pavilion on Friday. Number 2 Boilermakers against Northwestern at the Welsh Ryan Arena in Evanston. Following this game right here on MSC, Purdue has already clinched the Big Ten title this year. 1:40 to go. Badgers by 15, 67-52. And a takeaway by Robinson, and she's fouled by LaTanya Sims, who did the little steamroller move. that my big cousin used to do to me when we get together for Easter.
Well, this game started off scrappy, and it looks like it's going to end scrappy. One thing you can say about both teams is neither of them are scared to get down on the floor and pull and grab and do whatever they can to get that rebound.
You ever get steamrolled? Probably not. You were, I bet, one of the bigger in the family. You were doing the steamrolling.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, Sonia Robinson's final game at the Sports Pavilion. She has 7 points. Sims comes away with the rebound. Now against Robinson, can't get the shot to fall, and Sims showing good hustle. Tried to throw it back into one of her teammates, and it missed everyone and goes out of bounds to Minnesota. Sims, a good player, confident out there. You can tell she had a little attitude out there as well, too, a little competitive edge.
Absolutely. Very, very confident, goes up strong, and knows how to put the ball away and knows what to do underneath. And she's not a real big player, but she knows what to do with the ball in the court, and that's a lot more important than size or height.
Mindy Hansen eyeing that career high 24 points. She's at 22, traveled. And we have a minute to go in this game. Swan Taylor with the takeaway against Dee Pate. And Wiersma hustling down to pick up the rebound.
Swan doing what she likes to do best as well. I like the matchup with Taylor and Pate because they're both little and quick, and they love stealing the ball from one another.
5-5 against 5-7. Kelly Paulus, who was red hot in the first half, has 18 points. 13 of those were in the first half. And a timeout. Golden Gophers with 30.7 seconds to go. 69-52 Wisconsin. So Minnesota, this is really not the way they want to end the regular season, but it's got to be difficult coming off a game like they did in Purdue. You really can't expect a team to duplicate that type of emotion.
I think it's really going to be difficult for Minnesota. They have made some great strides this season, and they still have a lot more work to do. And that's really what it comes down to. And we didn't get the Big Ten win at home, but you're going to win it eventually. You're going to get a win eventually at home in the Big Ten, and it just kind of shows you how competitive this Big Ten is. And people come in here to win.
And you can see exactly here how competitive it is. You get past Purdue and Penn State. Purdue, if they win today, looking to be the second team to have a perfect record in the Big Ten Conference. Penn State 11-4, and then the next two teams, Lea, only 3 games over 500. Wisconsin's in 5th place, 1 game over 500. That middle of the pack there's only a difference of about 2-3 games from 3rd place all the way down to 8th place.
Yeah, that's as tight as I've seen the Big Ten in a long time, where there's really a lot going on right in the middle. A couple teams at the bottom, a couple teams at the top, but most of everything else is happening with all those teams right in the middle. It'll be interesting to see how many teams actually go to the tournament.
Nice shot there by Brandy Pickens.
Nice to see her get on the line. A few seconds left in the game. And
Mindy Hansen and Sonia Robinson.
And the 3 seniors getting a nice ovation from the crowd. Swan Taylor, Mindy Hansen, and Sonia Robinson. Didn't produce much in the way of victories in their 4 years, but more importantly, as far as character and hard work is concerned, I think they set the stage for the new era of Gopher basketball under Cheryl Littlejohn. Takeaway by Blevins. And she's fouled on the way up. Couldn't get the shot to fall. 4.3 seconds to go.
You're exactly right. The three very classy seniors that have added a lot to this program, and I think have done Coach Littlejohn very proud. Players that have gone through different coaches and have gone through different players, and they've really shown a lot of people what they're made of, and I think most people out here have a lot of respect for them.
And take your pick. Mindy Hansen being a starter under the previous regime, now a part-time player. She had to overcome that. Sonia Robinson, stress fractures. Swan Taylor had a little daughter, Deja, and no excuses. They still practice hard and played hard today in senior day, although the Gophers come up short against Wisconsin, losing 69-56. So the Badgers, by winning, will get the first round bye in the Big Ten tournament next week. And although everyone's focused on next year for the Wisconsin Badgers, finished strong in 1999. We'll see how they do in the Big Ten tournament. Wisconsin finishes at 9-7 in the Big Ten, 14-12 overall. Golden Gophers 7-19, 2-14 in the Big Ten. We'll take a break and wrap things up. Stay with us.